While I'm working on this tuning on this Zenith 51, Royal 51 again. This is just not wanting to turn. It's like really hard to turn, so the string slips. It does turn, but it's very hard to turn. Now, I've had it one time where it didn't want to turn at all. You see, it does turn, but it's really hard to turn. Okay, I got it turning freely now. Apparently there was some kind of reason, something, you know, I tried to clean it out a little bit with some contact cleaner that we use on potentiometers, volume controls and stuff to get rid of some of that scratchy sound. And that did work, but I have a feeling, I know you can't see in there. Let's see if I can get a light. Right around the shaft. Let's see if I can get a little more light in there. Yeah. Get my camera to focus. Okay, there we go. Right around the base of the shaft, there's like a, I don't know what it is. It's like some kind of washer. I don't know if you can see that at the bottom of the shaft. You see that little line that goes around just above the white part? That's the top edge of the washer. And I think that washer had some debris under. You see there's a little bit on the back behind that screw there. I don't know if you can see that with the camera. I'll get that out, but I already got some pieces out. It's like some kind of, I don't know, resin or something. You see how it, let me see if I can get on the other side there. I don't know if you can see in there. Anyway, I think it was gumming up under that washer and sticking to that white plastic. So I went ahead and cleaned it out a lot better, and I'm going to go ahead and clean the rest of that out and get it out of there the best I can. And I think it'll be fine because it's turning fine now. You know, part of the issue was when you put this knob on, this knob is really tight. I mean, really tight. It's got a compression ring on it. And so to put it on, last time I had to lubricate it a little bit in here to get it down on over the outside of that shaft. It pushes down quite hard on that shaft. And I found a way to put it on easier by sort of like screwing it on, even though it don't screw, just turning it and putting downward pressure till I get it on there. And then aligning the numbers up so that they line up with the radio station here in town. And maybe pushing down on that was making that, push that washer down into that white ring, that plastic ring, and made it bind. Because see, if you can see that, I don't think you can, unfortunately, but that washer turns with the shaft. And I don't know that it's a washer, but it acts like a washer. And it's turning with the shaft, sliding over that white plastic. And I believe that that is what was locking up. Because there's not, if it's turning now, there's nothing inside that's binding. It's because the only thing I did was cleaned around that. And then it started turning fine again. So I think that's where it's binding. And so what I'm going to do is go ahead and clean it out a little better. Put the washer on, put the string back on, make sure it's turning, everything's fine, and I'm going to set it aside for a couple of days to see if I can duplicate what happened with shipping as far as time-wise, just like three or 5 days, something like that, and then pick it up and see if it turns freely. And if it turns freely, I think at that point we'll be in good shape, because I think I figured out what's causing it, but I want to verify it. And if after that time it's still turning fine and it hasn't locked up or anything as it sets up, then we know it's going to be okay. Because that's the only thing I can see. And I had to take that wheel off to get one of these, to get this screw in. I believe it was this one that had fallen out, and it was wedged underneath this pulley. It wasn't really wedged, it was locked under there basically. It couldn't fall out. I guess the solder joints here around it were holding it in, and it couldn't just like fall out loose. So it was hard for me to even see that there was a loose screw, but I did find the screw. And it could have been that it was touching the shaft and the metal ring, and that could have been partly what was causing some of the static. I don't know. I'm assuming that this is grounded, but it may not be grounded, and then yeah, that could cause some of the static. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, see, it's turning fine now, real easy. So I'm going to let it sit a while. I'm going to put it together, make sure it's still working, and that the radio is working. I set the channel, and then I'm going to let it sit for quite a while and see what happens. And this is the inside of that cracked glass on the dial. You see it's got cracked there, but I don't see any problems in here. I don't think it's touching this. You know, that could have been another issue, that this wheel was rubbing on here, but I don't think so, because this goes all the way down flush. So, and I'll go ahead and clean that out and then put that on and then give it a rest, let it sit a while and see what happens. That's the best thing I can do at this point. So that's what my plan is, and I'm just uploading this video so that the owner can see what I found out by looking at it, because when I got it, it was locked, and couldn't even hardly turn it with pliers. It would turn, but it was difficult. So I'm thinking that's what it is now that I see some debris down in there. I'm going to get all that out and let it sit and make sure. I also put a little lubricant on that shaft to make sure that it doesn't bind to that white plastic. It could have been friction. You know, it could have been a lot of different things. But it doesn't seem like it's internal to the tuning condenser, and that's a good thing. I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think it has to do with that junction right there. So that's where I'm at. Thanks for watching. Okay, I got it put back together. And I'm on the FM band. Of course, that's without an antenna.
On behalf of his son, our smears.
Let's just lay that there, might help.
We now know what 100%.
And I'm barely touching it, look. I mean, it's turning fine. Here it is back in its case. That's AM. Of course, that was my local AM station. Here's a distant one. Let's get that right where you can see it there. It's pretty good for down here. It's just here. You see, it turns really easy. Okay, so that's AM. There it is. Oh no, that was FM. Sorry about that. It was FM. This is AM. This is the noise I'm used to hearing. Digital signal. station. So it's working fine. Shut the power off there. It's working fine, and and it turns real easy. I mean, real easy. I'm just barely touching it, and it's turning. So if I push on it, it turns smooth as can be. No problems at all. So I'm going to let it set for a few days in one position. I'm right in the middle of the dang dial there. I just let it set there for a few days and just pick it up. Not turn it, just pick it up. Get it in my hand comfortable, and then try to turn it to the extremes, both sides, and see what happens. And if it doesn't lock up, then it's ready to go back. It's not even got the static it had before, so I think that was all related. It's got some static, but you know, I'm in the basement, so I get a lot of static. It's hard for me to tell. But it doesn't have the bad static that it had before when it was acting strange. So there you have it, and hopefully this fixes the problem. And I'm gonna upload this video and let the customer see it, and so he'll know that it's working okay. And thanks for watching. Bye.